Salvete omnes, this is I'm Amelia, also known as TheMartianGeek. And it's time for another LP. It's time for Donkey Kong Country 2. Copyright 1995 Nintendo. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. That was a pun, or play on words. Donkey Kong Country 2, well, we've already established it was made in 1995, and, well, it's just an amazing game overall. It has graphics that could probably compete with a lot of 32-bit games. The soundtrack is possibly the best in the entire 16-bit era, if not in the entire history of video games. Your mileage may vary on that one, but... And, well, the gameplay? You know, it's a platformer, and a very good one at that. Generally, Donkey Kong Country 2 is considered to be the most difficult of the original trilogy. Oh, look, demo. We don't need to worry about that. Generally, Donkey Kong Country 2 is considered to be the most difficult of the original trilogy, although it still pales in comparison to Donkey Kong Country Returns. But you know, so far, you know, it's challenging, but for the most part, everything feels like pretty fair challenges. At least, mostly. Yeah, I said mostly. This game does have a couple of levels that simply don't deserve to even exist, but we'll worry about those when we come to them. In general, if you have any sort of fondness for platformers, you should play Donkey Kong Country 2. If you're at all interested in the Super Nintendo or 16-bit systems, you should play Donkey Kong Country 2. If you're curious to see just what they could do back in those days, you should play Donkey Kong Country 2. If it's a rainy day and you're bored and have nothing better to do, you should play Donkey Kong Country 2. Oh yeah, and did I mention you should play Donkey Kong Country 2? Yeah, okay, it might not look like much nowadays, but, you know, by the standards of the time, that was amazing. Doesn't matter if it doesn't have any fancy schmancy multi-layered 3D effects or fancy freaking pain-in-the-butt schmancy motion controls. Yeah, I'm not a fan of motion controls, honestly. Mainly because, as opposed to just restricting it to games that could actually really use motion controls, like Wii Sports, where you swing the bat or golf club or whatever, they also have to put it in just about every game, including ones, for example, that are sequels to games from the 16-bit era, and are supposed to play somewhat like them, and therefore should absolutely not require motion controls. A good example being the aforementioned Donkey Kong Country Returns. Do you have any idea how many times in that game I have tried to make Donkey Kong roll and accidentally make him blow, or vice versa, because I didn't shake the remote soon enough, or I shook it too soon, or I didn't hold down the down button long enough, or the controller was just being finicky? And all those problems are compounded too by any sort of problems with the battery. Can anyone explain why exactly regular AA batteries are 1.5 volts, while rechargeable ones, as in the ones that you won't completely use up and make useless after 2 weeks of them being in a Wii Remote, are only 1.2? Apparently it's enough of a difference that you can have that low battery light coming on, and the controller making that annoying as heck beeping noise even after you just put fresh batteries in. Grrr. But enough ranting, let's get to the actual game. Select a new file, select one player, I'm only one person, right? No multiple personality here, despite it being called a Let's Play. And have at it. This game actually has somewhat of a pirate theme. The first world is Gangplank Galleon, which is actually the last world of the first Donkey Kong Country game. And here's our first stage, 1-1. Pirate Panic. Before we do anything else, let's get our buddy out of the barrel. For this game we have Diddy and Dixie. Sorry, I've been a bit sick lately. And here's a note from Kaptain K. Rool. He's a pirate captain in this game. I've kidnapped that lumbering fool Donkey Kong and you will never see him again. Har 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 har. And we get an extra life. Yeah, the basic plot of the game is Donkey Kong's been kidnapped and now Diddy and Dixie have to figure out what happened to him and kick the butt of the person in charge, or the person responsible. Which is, of course, Kaptain K. Rool. This is a crate, you can pick it up just like a barrel. So, easy enough starting stage. Well, it would be. It's the first stage in the game. And like most first stages in Donkey Kong Country games, it has plenty of opportunities for getting lives. There's the midway barrel. Oh, those suspicious looking bananas down there? Yeah, that guy, he doesn't actually hurt you if he runs into you, but he does knock you backward, and sometimes that can be into a bottomless pit or spikes or other hazards. Even though there are no bottomless pits in this stage. If we go down there, we find our first bonus. Find the token. That's not the token, that's merely a banana coin. But you might as well get it. There's the token. They're called Krem coins in this game, and there are 75 of them. And if you want to find all the bonus stages, and if you want to enter all them, you're gonna need all 75. It's Rambi, everybody's favorite animal buddy. First appearing in Donkey Kong Country 1, he returns in this game, and in Donkey Kong Country Returns. Let's get rid of these guys. He wasn't in the third game, though, which some people weren't too happy about. Now why is that banana there? Well, because there's another bonus in here. Destroy them all. Yeah, the bonuses have different names in Donkey Kong Country 2 than in 3. You know, in 3 the equivalent to this was bash the baddies. Here it's destroy them all. One move that Rambi has in this game that he didn't have in the first game is that supercharge. You activate it by holding down A and then letting go when you're ready to charge. And there's our first DK coin. I think there are 40, 41 something. I don't remember the exact number, but 40 something DK coins in the game. There's one in every stage. And this is the end of level goal. If you jump on it from a sufficient height, you'll get whatever prize is displayed. And I got that wrong, so all I got was a measly bunch of bananas, but whatever. I'm gonna get enough extra lives in this game anyway, so first stage completed. Oh yeah, and depending on whether you complete the stage with Diddy or Dixie, at least assuming you actually jumped on it from high enough to get the prize, either Diddy will blare a boombox or Dixie will shred on an electric guitar. Kinda cool, that. You might see Dixie's version of that in this stage. So, Mainbrace Mayhem 1-2 takes place in the rigging of a ship. And let's use Dixie for this. You can get over here with Diddy, but it's a lot more difficult. And there's another bonus. Another find the token. I should mention, in Donkey Kong Country 3, every stage, save a few of the ones in the Lost World, had exactly 2 bonuses, no more, no fewer. In this game, they can have either 1, 2, or 3. Mainbrace Mayhem actually has 3. So, keep that in mind. My sister said, ew, she put a beetle in her hair. The music in this stage is in 12/8 time, if you haven't noticed, and it's called Jib Jig. A jib is part of a ship. Oh yeah, and the music for the first stage was Clomp's Romp. Clomp are the peg leg guys. I don't know if there's anything that's supposed to be up here. I'll try a team throw, but nothing. This guy is called Clampon. He looks like he's having fun. He climbs the rope and then he slides down with a whee! Or woo! Two bananas and a banana coin down there. And there's our midway point. This is the stage that showed up in the demo. Pooey. Yeah, I could have gotten all of those rats with the same barrel, but wouldn't have done a whole lot because, unlike in most Mario games, in Donkey Kong Country 2, well, I think all the Donkey Kong Country games except maybe the first one, you don't get an extra life if you kill 8 or more enemies in a row. Watch out for that clump on there, and this is a cannonball. You can use it like a barrel, except it's reusable and doesn't roll. Also, when you see a cannonball, there's always a cannon close by. That cannon shoots you into a bonus room. And here's a destroy them all for you. Actually, probably better to use Dixie for this one because she doesn't have to worry about throwing the ball. She can just put it in her hair and ram it right into the clampons. See, I had 25 seconds left. So that's 2 out of 3 bonuses. Should be one more here. That's not what I meant to do. Yeah, you can pick up the beetles and throw them at stuff. I usually just prefer to smash them, but... yeah, there's the 3rd bonus. But first, let's see what's over here. It's the end of the stage, so... let's go into the bonus instead. Shall we? Why not? Collect the stars. Yeah, in Donkey Kong Country 2, they don't specify exactly how many stars you're supposed to collect like they did in the 3rd game. And it doesn't always have to be a multiple of 10, like it was 75 in this one. I haven't determined the quickest way to do this bonus, but you're given plenty of time to complete it, so it doesn't exactly matter unless you're trying to speedrun it. 14 seconds left. And there's the DK coin. And we get to see Diddy rocking out. Or Dixie, I mean. And there's the 3rd stage, Gangplank Galley, but first let's visit Cranky in the Monkey Museum. It's the equivalent of Cranky's cabin from the 1st game. Come and say hello to your old grandpappy, Cranky. I'm back by popular demand to offer you my wealth of game-playing wisdom for this unnecessary sequel. Go ahead, test my amazing knowledge. He gives us hints about various secrets in the stages, in the world he's in. Pirate Panic. Try using your team throw at the start. Lockjaw's Locker. Below the letter K, below the letter K, you'll find a reward if you avoid the danger. Mainbrace Mayhem. Jump for joy when crossing the longest horizontal rope. Pirate Panic. I reckon the door at the bottom of the tall wall looks flimsy to me. And Gangplank Galley. Those big blue goons ain't guarding that huge stack of barrels for nothing. Knock 'em off and get up there. Top Seal Trouble. A hook, step, and jump is all you need to look for near the 2 dragonflies above you. Should be real easy for you now. Actually, just about everything Cranky has to say I already knew, so... the only reason I'm actually going to him and buying all of his hints is because of... for show. And the first bonus is right at the start of this stage. Also, you actually need to visit all the Kong family members in the first world if you want the full 102% completion. You only get 10 seconds in this bonus. One of those 4 chests contains the Krem coin. It's random each time, and you have to smash them all against that invincible bee to figure out which one it is. Now, see that hook there? It's hard to see, but there it is. And there's the DK coin. Gangplank Galley is almost like a harder version of the first stage. It has the same theme, but more enemies, more difficult to deal with enemies, and actual bottomless pits this time. Fail! Everything must go. Now here you can either go down or up. I'm gonna do both, since I can never decide. If you go up though, you do get the O, so... yeah, go up. Unless of course you want to take out those kaboings down there. Yes, they're called kaboing. You can see where they got the name, but... and I can't remember what this guy's called, but you can't actually defeat him by just jumping on him. All you'll do is make him mad. You have to use a barrel or something to get rid of him. Or Rambi if you have him. Notice the interesting effect in the background there. This one basically takes place as the sun is setting. And I think it's your position in this stage, not how long you've been in it, that determines how far down the sun goes. That is an invincibility barrel. It actually gives you quite a long time to be invincible. So take advantage of that. And beat the crap out of everything in your path. That was actually that huge sack of barrels Cranky was talking about. Not exactly hard to find that bonus anyway, but whatever. That was the last bonus in this stage, so... Now if you want to, you can actually go back and get that invincibility barrel again. Just for fun, let's do it. And since that... oh, you'll see. Yeah, since this chest still contains an extra life, if I remember correctly, you can just keep doing that for as many times as you want if you want to get infinite lives that way. And back to Diddy and his boombox. And look at that beautiful sunset in the background, over the ocean. So, got everything on the first 3 stages. Now, let's save our game at Kong College. Hello, dearies. I'm Mrs. Wrinkly Kong, headmistress here at Kong College. Yeah, I can attempt a crotchety old man voice, but I'm not gonna try a kindly old lady voice. I'm available to teach courses on how to play this game, or you can just pop in when you want to save your little old game. Now then, how can I help you? First time you save your game in a world, it's free. After that, it's 2 coins. So we've been playing for 9 minutes, have 7 Krem coins and 3 DK coins, and 8% completion. Kong family coins. A gold coin with a bunch of bananas on it. Collect these and spend them in the various Kong family locations found throughout the island. Swimming. Press the B button to swim, pressing up or down on the directional keypad while swimming or floating will affect the speed that you sink or swim. Like a couple of Cranky's hints, this one doesn't actually affect anything yet, but it will. End of level target. Jump on the target to finish the level. If you jump from a sufficient height, you'll win a displayed prize. I already mentioned that in the first stage. Rambi Supercharge actually costs money. Press and hold the A button to power him up, then release it for a supercharge. Use this to destroy enemies and break open hidden doors. Again, I already covered that in the first stage, and I don't have any money so I can't buy the other 2 hints of hers. So let's leave the college. Goodbye, dearies. You have to visit her too if you want full completion. And visit her in the first world. So, 3 stages down and there's the 4th, Lockjaw's Locker, but I'm not going to play it yet. You might recall that in Donkey Kong Country 3, with the exception of the Lost World, I split each world up into 2 videos. In this game, I think I'm going to do 2 for some, but 3 for some others, because in general the stages in this game tend to take longer to complete than in Donkey Kong Country 3, mainly because they tend to be harder. Also, in Donkey Kong Country 3, every world had exactly 5 stages, plus the boss. In this game, some of them have 5 and some of them have 6. So I figure no need to make my videos longer than necessary and take longer to buffer on YouTube. I hate YouTube's buffering system. Because it's not very good for people with bad internet connections and all, but whatever. So yeah, I'll complete the second half of Gangplank Galleon next time. In the meantime, thanks for watching. You have a foothold into Donkey Kong Country 2. And I'll see you next time.